We have literally one of the premier historians of country music, prolific writer. He's
Yes.
written so many books, and I'm just thrilled, and I know you are too, to have
Yes.
Don Cusic with us
Hey,
on
Don.
Swanky Southern Nights. How you doing, Don?
Doing great, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Oh my goodness, we're thrilled to have you, and it's just I've known of your work for years. This ain't your
Mhm.
first rodeo. I know you've got a brand new book, but you've been writing books for a long time now, and close to 30 books. Am I right, or am I
Y-
close?
Yes, yes, and I'm tired.
Well,
Yeah, it has been a lot of books, about 30.
yeah, yeah. Well, we love your books and just the insight that you give on Nashville music and music in general. We have to tell you. So our show is Swanky Southern Nights, which is a blend of
Hmm.
traditional country music, soulful traditional country music, and some traditional jazz music, and the Nashville sound era
Hmm.
of music has been so important to us and sort of the home base for us. And to read some of your work about that era of music
Hmm.
is very insightful, very thrilling. We always tell people that's when some of hillbilly country music went to the world because because of that subtle Southern sophistication that was added to it. But you're an ex.
Yeah.
I'm just babbling because you're the expert on this. And this book, Chet Atkins.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Guitar, I mean, talking about that Nashville sound and that era
Yes,
of music. I
yes,
mean, did you know Chet Atkins? Did you know him?
yes, I did. I wasn't close to him. I wasn't a golfing buddy, but yeah, I knew Chet, and I'd interviewed him a couple of times, but they were fairly short interviews. I
Mm-hmm.
never did an in-depth interview with him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, and of course you could see him around the row all the time.
Yes.
Uh, I remember he had some health setbacks, and you could see him walking to
Yeah.
and from lunch, and he didn't want to get picked up, and he didn't want to ride.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
iconic figure, in the music industry for sure. And
Hmm.
I have to ask you. So Chet Atkins always seemed like sort of. Well, obviously brilliant, but
Hmm.
also maybe a little aloof, or am I incorrect in that?
Hmm. You're correct. He was very shy, very reserved.
Mhm.
Um, he wasn't he wasn't one of these loud kind of extrovert guys. He was he's very much an introvert,
Yeah.
and like I said, very reserved.
Yeah. But you were able to do some interviews with him, so that obviously you know how to.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, he was. He looked unapproachable, but he was very approachable.
Yeah.
He was very happy to talk to anybody, and especially if you're talking about guitars.
Yes. Which he was definitely an expert, CGP,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah, that's awesome. Now this book, how long did it take you to put this book together?
12 years.
Hmm.
Wow.
Now, that wasn't writing every single day or
Hmm.
anything, but from the time I started to the time I finished, it was 12 years.
That's why you say you were tired.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So what were some? Tell us maybe some, just a little snippet of information, maybe something, a little nugget of something that's in the book that maybe the general public doesn't necessarily know about Chet Atkins, because he was sort of mysterious in a way.
Yeah. Well, I would say, one of the things, if you're a guitar player, is that he practiced. A lot of guitar players, they get to a point where they're very good. And when needed, they pick up the guitar and play, but they don't really practice. And
Hmm.
Chet always practiced.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Uh, he was in love with the guitar his whole life.
Yeah.
And that was kind of sums him up. Of course, there's a lot to him, but that really sums him up. He just
Yeah.
fell in love with the guitar as a boy and stayed with it.
Yeah.
He was like I said, he was easy to talk to once you introduced yourself and started talking, but he did seem aloof. It was you had to take the initiative
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah, one of the things that we talk about a lot, Bryn and I talk about is, the history of country music. A lot of the newer artists aren't necessarily aware of all the history and the roads that have been paved by people
Yeah.
like Chet Atkins. So this book is so important for people of all ages to read, especially those just music lovers in general, but especially those in the music industry, to get a really good taste of what that was about. Just because he really was a pioneer in many ways, wasn't he?
Yeah, very much. And the story of Chet in Nashville is the story of Music Row in Nashville. The
Yeah.
story of, as you talk about the Nashville sound that emerged during that period of time.
Yes.
It's it's a story of one man, but it's a story of a whole movement, a whole genre, a
Yes.
whole world of country music.
Yes. Yes, which was so very important, and you're like a walking encyclopedia. I'm just so thrilled to have. Don
I
on the
know.
phone.
He
This
is a walking encyclopedia.
I know.
He was a consultant in the Ken Burns documentary that was huge.
Yeah.
In country,
Yes.
about country
How was
music.
How was
Yeah.
that? Tell us a little bit about that. That's exciting.
Oh, that was great. Ken took a long time. It was about 8 years from the time we had our initial dinner until the time the thing was finished and came out. So it was, but it was fun working with him. You learned the guy that did most of the writing was Dayton Duncan, but certainly Ken was involved with all of that. And I remember being up in New Hampshire at his studio and having to cut. And he's saying the key is to cut. What makes a great video is cutting. And it was frustrating for him at the same time. It was that's what it took.
Yeah, can you explain that? Can you explain that a little bit to our listeners, Don? What you mean by that?
Yeah, because you've got too much stuff.
I got you.
And then you need to trim, cut stuff to make it fit. And the other thing he's talking about, he started out, he didn't have a thread, and he was saying, I need a thread.
Yeah.
And he found the thread with Johnny Cash
Johnny
and
Cash.
the Carter family.
Yes. Yes, I remember that. I was just about to ask you about that. What was the thought behind that? Because but you kind of just summed it up, because it was a lot about Johnny Cash and the Carter family. Of course, being the first family of country music, I suppose that's where that started, right? Is that?
Yeah. Of course, Jimmy Rogers and the Carter family recorded in 1927, and that was kind of the beginnings of commercial country music.
Yeah.
There'd been early recordings that sold well, but this, you date contemporary country music generally from Jimmy Rogers and the Carter family.
Yes. Absolutely. And again, it's so important for people to know this, because that really is the origin, the backstory of where music is today, Nashville music.
Yeah.
It gives you a foundation when you talk about country music. If you know that history, you have that foundation.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, when you get around a bunch of old guys, that's what they talk about.
Yeah. Well,
and talk about with interns, I
Yes.
teach, and I say, if you know how to talk to them about history of their music,
yes.
You may get a job out of it.
Absolutely. And just to get that wealth of information, Don, when I first moved to Nashville 30 something years ago, my heroes, those were the ones that I used to sit at their feet and just go, tell me more about this.
Yeah.
That's so important. And this book is just chock full of those sorts of stories about the history of Nashville. Yeah,
I wanted to do like the story of Nashville with Chet because he was so integral to it, so important a part of that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So you've got so many other books out there too that are just so interesting.
Eddie Arnold.
Yes.
He's written Roger Miller.
Roger
one of our
Miller, dang him.
favorites.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, Elvis.
Yeah.
Reba McEntire.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson.
Yes.
Wow, it just goes on and on.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Willie gave me a blurb for the book. And of course, Ken did too, and Dolly gave me a blurb for the book.
oh, that's
Nice.
that's awesome.
So that was nice. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, just to have those endorsements from living legends like that is wonderful.
Yeah.
So you've got all these books, and so do you keep the clock wound? Are you always writing?
No, I take Sundays off.
Oh, good. Good for you. Day of rest. Good for you. That's
Yeah.
good. Got to recharge the battery a little bit on Sundays.
I will say that I work 6 days a week, 10 hours a day,
Yeah.
basically. It's not all physically writing. Sometimes I'm doing research and that sort of thing. But yeah, pretty much every day.
Well, you must enjoy it then.
I do. I love it. It beats working.
I love that.
Yeah. Have you been writing from the time you were a kid?
Pretty much, yeah. I remember I was in the sixth grade, and one of the other students said, "Are you going to be a writer when you grow up?" And I said, "No, there's no money in it." And as soon as I said that, I knew I was going to be a writer.
There you
I didn't know
go.
how to do it. I didn't know anything about it, but nobody in my family had ever done it. But
Wow.
I knew from that time.
Well, we're all fortunate
that.
that you followed that calling in your life, because that's just such a it's such a wealth of information for so many people to glean from, and not just educational, but entertaining. You know,
Yes.
and
Yeah, it's fun.
yeah, absolutely. So, do you have any? I know that you're working on getting this book out there and marketing this book, but do you have any other things in the pipeline right now?
Yeah, biography of Minnie Pearl that I wrote with
Nice.
Mary Ellen Pethel, who had worked on her documentary. And then I've got a book coming on Bob Dylan and country music.
Really?
It'll be out in the spring sometime. Yeah,
Nice.
that's fascinating.
Yeah.
His connections. There's a lot of connections between Dylan and country music.
Wow. We'll have to have you back on.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll be glad to.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And you
Be
get all
glad
and you
to.
get all his books. I mean, they're available everywhere at major bookstores. You know, you look online. But DonCusic.com.
Cusic.
Yes,
Don
you
Cusic.
get his books there and read about this amazing
yeah.
author.
Music with a C.
Yes.
Music with a
There
C.
you go.
There you go. Yes. Well, we're excited about this book, Chet Atkins, Mr. Guitar, and we're going to be playing some Chet Atkins music on the show tonight. And another one of our guests on the show is Susie Bogus, who did a lot of duets with Chet. So this is
Yeah,
just
did a whole album.
yes.
Did a whole album with
yes.
him.
We've,
Yeah.
we've played a lot
Oh,
off
so
of that album.
good. Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Mhm. So we just, this is just the
Perfect fit.
perfect fit. Thank you so much for being on Swanky Southern Nights, Don. We appreciate you and this great new book. We'll be looking for it.
Yes. Thank you,
Well,
Don.
thank you. It was great to be with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.